Okay, yesterday we left off in the middle of the first end of base on base. The Gemara had said, how do we know that when you have the base skila, when you have the person going to be taken out to be niskal,
right,
it has to be mechutz lamachna, out of all three machnas, outside the city of Yerushalayim, or outside the Stama city, wherever it is. How do you know that? Gemara says, you know this from a whole set of drashas, from Gzera Shava, from Parman Asrafin, and from Mekalel. And we learn out from there because it says michutz lamachna and multiple times we didn't say it, right? So we learn out in the end from all three machnas. So frak the Gemara, how come you learn it out from there to say it's all the way out? Why don't you learn it out from a different case of michutz lamachna where it does not mean all three machnas? Why don't you learn it out from a case of shchutei chutz? The halacha is you're not allowed to shech the carbon outside the azara, right? And over there, but it's talking about just outside the azara, just outside the machna leviyah, right? You could be in Yerushalayim, it's still shchutei chutz. It's a problem. So how do you know that maybe the base skila is also going to be that close, relatively speaking, right? So the Gemara says it's it's about 10 lines up from the bottom, middle of the line. Back tomorrow, let's learn out from shchutei chutz. Just like by shchutei chutz, it's outside only one machna. Over here also by beis haskila, it's only outside one machna. Gemara says no. Mistavra, it makes sense to say Parman Asrafin Havleil Melech. You should learn out from Parman Asrafin, and you should not learn out from shchutei chutz. Why? Shekain Hoitza El Michutz Lamachna Machshir U'Mechaper. This is a siman. This is a couple of things that are similarities between Parman Asrafin and the case of Mekalel, which is the case of Skila, where we learn Skila from. And the things are like this. Hoitza, it says, by both by Mekalel and by the case of Parman Asrafin, it says you should take him out l'chutz lamachna. You take the parat l'chutz lamachna, take the Mekalel l'chutz lamachna. That's Hoitza. Then it says El Michutz. The Gemara says in the case of both of them, it says El Michutz lamachna, two outside the machna. By shchutei chutz, it doesn't say that. It says the language that it says is. No, not that pasuk. Sorry. No, it's a different pasuk. The pasuk is Yishachit michutz lamachna. It doesn't say El. It doesn't say El michutz lamachna. So it's a different sprach there. And then the next thing, it's machshir. That when it says by the shchutei chutz, I'm sorry, by Purim and by Mekalel, the reason why you're going at Mechutz Lamachna, that's where you do the mitzvah, right? Yeah. By Mekalel, you're giving skila outside the machna. By Purim, you're bringing that outside the machna to do the mitzvah, and by burning it and making do the avodah of the Parman Asrafin over there. So, but by shchutei chutz, when you're going outside the machna, that's the avera that he's doing. That's the bad thing he's doing. And then the last thing is on the list is from Umechaper. That is that both by Mekalel and by Parman Asrafin, what you're doing out to the machna is giving a kapara. By Mekalel, his misa is a kapara, and by Parman Asrafin, burning it out to the machna is part of the avodah, the part of the chatas, the par al shal tzibur, or par kain Mashiach. That's the kapara. But by shchutei chutz, doing it outside the machna, that's gufa, the einish. That's causing you the avera. So the Gemara says that's why it makes sense to learn from Mekalel, from Parman Asrafin, and not to learn it from shchutei chutz. Frak the Gemara, no, maybe not. Adrabah, Mishchutei Chutz Havleil Melech. You should learn from Shchutei Chutz. Shechein Adam Chayte B'Neshama Pegol. And the Gemara, it's a list of another 4 things that are similar from Shchutei Chutz to Mekalel. What are the things? The Adam is that by Mekalel we're talking about a person, and by Shchutei Chutz we're talking about a person. But by Parman Asrafin we're talking about a par, it's talking about a cow, right? So that's one similarity. The next one is Chayte, that the person who's Mekalel is doing an Avera, and the person who is doing Shchutei Chutz, he's doing an Avera. The next thing is B'Neshama, that Mekalel, his neshama is being taken, he's getting killed outside the machne, and by Shchuti Chutz, you're killing the animal outside the machne, and the last one is pigul. That is that by michutz lamachne, by when it's by Shchuti Chutz, a Shchuti Chutz, it doesn't become messed up by being chutz lamachne, and by Makal it doesn't get messed up in chutz lamachne. However, by permanent shafin, if you shecht it with the wrong kavanas, then it could become pigul. So these are the cases. These are the reasons why you should learn out from Shchuti Chutz. Mar says no. Even so, machshir other play. We'd rather learn out from Makalel, from the Parman Shafin, which they're both the thing that is machshir, the thing that makes the mitzvah. You're doing the what the Torah wants you to do, versus when you're doing what the Torah does not want you to do. And L'maisa, that's how we want to learn out. Okay, now, so we think we have a makar why you should go and have the basis skila outside all three machnas. Rav Papa says, I have a different makar. Rav Papa says like this: Moshe hechav Yasef. Moshe, where was he sitting?
He was judging people.
When he was saying this halach of Haitzes Makal, take the Makal out, right? He was talking. He said, take the Makal out. Where was he sitting? He was sitting in the Machal He was a Levi. So that's the second machna.
Right.
And the Torah said, Haitzes Makal. Take the Rebbe Shalom said, take the Makalel and Chutz Machne outside the Machne. So that means Chutz Machne Leviyah, outside the Machne Leviyah.
Third place.
So that's the
third level.
So now they're in the third level. They're still in the Machnes, but they're in the third Machne. And then it says in the pasuk, "Vayitziu es Makalel and Chutz Machne." They took the Makal to the Chutz Machne. So that's Chutz Machne Yisrael.
Which was where, inside or outside?
All the way out, all the way to the fourth level, really. Fourth level is outside.
This Machne Leviyah, and then the fourth level.
Right. So that's how you know that you go. The basis kilo is all the way outside. In fact, the Gemara, this second pasuk that you bring down, "Vayitzius Makalel," Haimi Boile La'asiyah. You need this pasuk to tell you that the Yidden did what Hashem said. That's what it says, and that
they did it.
Right? They say that they did it, right? So you can't learn out from here that it means that an extra machna. That's not an extra pasuk that you get darshan. Where it says no.
And how does it allow you to go out to the fourth level?
What?
It's not allowing you to go out to the fourth level.
We don't have the pasuk to say that this was going out of the fourth level into Mechutz Lamachne. So the Gemara says, no, Asiyah Behed Yiksiva. You have a different pasuk that says they did it. What's the pasuk say? It says, Bnei Yisrael Asu Kasher Tziva Hashem As Moshe. It says no first that the Bnei Yisrael did what Hashem said. So why does it have to say they took him out? Right? Yeah. So it must be to tell you that they took him out to the all the way over all the machnas to outside all the machnas. Mm-hmm. The Gemara, if that's the case, that you're darshaning that Vayitziu is an extra pasuk because it says of Bnei Yisrael Asu Kasher Tziva Hashem As Moshe, then I have a different pasuk over there that I don't understand anymore. Elamiyat, it says Vayirgu Moise Evan. They stoned him with a stone, right? My Avdilay. What do you do with that? The pasuk says that Moshe said, take him out to the Machne and stone him. Mm-hmm. The pasuk says they took him out and they stoned him.
Why take him out for?
They took him out because it says that they're doing the thing that Hashem said, and then they stoned him because they're doing the thing Hashem said. That's what you would think. But then the pasuk says also, Bnei Yisrael Asu Kasher Tziva Hashem As Moshe, that they did what Hashem said. So we said before, Hashem told Moshe, take him out and stone him, right? So. And then the pasuk says again, Bnei Yisrael Asu Kasher Tziva Hashem As Moshe. They did that. So the Gemara said that's how you could use the pasuk that says they took him out as a pasuk for a drasha. But then why do you need the pasuk that says by Yirgu Moisai? You should need the drasha for that also. What do you learn from there? Gemara says Taka, you're right. You Taka have a limud from it. What's the limud? Ahumi Ba'ilei Lechatanya. Need it for with this price of Yirgu Moisai Evan. It says Ba'evan, but it's a typo. It should be Yirgu Moisai Evan. That's the pasuk. They stoned him with a stone. This tells us that you have to do him without his ksus. He can't be dressed when he's being niskal. And Evan, it says a singular, Shemeis Evan Achas, that if he died with one stone, Yatsa Yatsa, you don't have to throw multiple stones in him. Evan, By the Makalel, it says, okay, the pasuk says Lashon Yachid, Evan. But by the case of the Makoshesh, it says Avanim, Lashon Rabin. So why do you have to say both? Because Torah is telling us something each way. Because Rachmana Evan, if the Torah would have just said stone singular, if he died with just, if he did not die with just one stone, you're Yaitza. Send the guy home.
How do they stone somebody?
What?
How do they do that? How do they stone somebody?
Yeah, we're going to talk about it later. Yeah, we're going to get, not today, but we're going to get to it. Then you should say, look, you threw a stone, he escaped, okay, send him home.
He escaped or he died? Yes, he died.
He escaped from dying. I mean, he didn't, it hit him, he got hurt maybe, but he didn't die.
Okay? No, it has to be.
So therefore the Torah has to say stones, plural. That if one stone doesn't kill him, you have to do more. That's what the Torah says, avanim plural. Because Rachmana avanim, and if the Torah just said stones plural without saying singular, originally you should throw multiple stones at him. Kas Rachmana Evan, to say that the first stone that you throw, first you throw one stone, one big stone. We're going to talk about that later, and then you throw multiple stones after if he didn't die yet. I'm sorry, this Tana says Nemer. In other words, I have a question. Our Papa says, I have a very nice drasha. Moshe was sitting in the Machmalavia, and it said, take him out, and then the Torah says they took him out. You have a drasha, you learn it all the way, out of all the Machmas. Before, on the top of Ben Beis and Beis, we have a brisa. It says, and it learns a bunch of Gzera Shavas, and we have Gzera Shava, and that we learn from there that go out of third Machmas. So our Papa is arguing with the Tana over here with the brisa. What's going on? Yeah? So the Gemara says, the Tana of the brisa is saying, if not for the fact of Rav Papa's drasha, in other words, the Tana of the brisa knew Rav Papa's drasha, and he was saying, if it didn't have the pasuk like Rav Papa darshan, I could have said the Gzera Shava. Now that I have the pasuk, I don't need the Gzera Shava. That's how the Tana is learning. Okay, Rav Ashi says a different limud over here. Rav Ashi Amar Moshe Chavi Yosef. She starts off like Rav Papa. Where is Moshe sitting? The Machmalavia, in the Machmalavia. V'amler Rachmana, and the Hashem said to him, take the Makalal out. So now, once it said take the Makalal out, it means chutz the Machmalavia, outside the Machmalavia. Then the pasuk continues, El michutz tamachna, outside the Machna. You're already outside the Machmalavia from Haitzis Makalal. The next phrase is El michutz tamachna. That must mean chutz tamachna Yisrael, outside Machna Yisrael. And then when it says Vayitziu es Makalal La'asiyah, that's coming to tell you that they actually did it. They actually listened to Moshe and they did what he said. It says Meforish Behedya, the pasuk we brought down before that says that they did it. Mara says, we need that pasuk of the Bnei Yisrael Asuk Hashativ Hashem Es Moshe to tell you that the Bnei Yisrael also did two halachas that we learn out from elsewhere. That the shoymim have to put their hand. Some chas shoymim, they put their hand on the person who's getting killed, on the person who's getting killed, and also tchiyah that one of the edim are the ones who push him off the basis. The ones who testified that he is chayiv. They're the ones who have to be mekayim the dead. No, not kashmak. The Rabban said to Rav Ashi, this is Rav Ashi just said a pshat. Rav Ashi is saying over here, when it says Haitzis Makalel, before we said, the pasuk says Haitzis Makalel Mechutz Tamachne, like Rav Papa said, that is one phrase, and we learn one thing from it. But Rav Ashi split it, and he said, you learn one thing from Haitzis Makalel, and one thing from El Mechutz Tamachne. So now you see from Rav Ashi, that the pasuk that says Haitzei, just that saying, taking out, you can learn something from it. But then, if you go back to the case of Parman Ashrafim, you have a couple of psukim that just say the word Haitzei, V'Haitzei es kol ha'para l'mechutz hamachne, and so on. So we use the word Haitzi, but we don't have a drasha from it. If Rav Ashi says that the word Haitzi itself is enough for a drasha, what does he learn out by the case of the Parman Ashrafim? Umar says Kasha Tzaka Kasha and Rav Ashi, and Umar doesn't see an answer for that. Okay. We said in the Mishnah the case that the scenario, what happens is you have a guy standing over there outside Bezdin, he's holding a flag, and there's another guy on a horse all the way as far as possible so you can still see the flag guy. And if Bezdin comes up with a reason to part of the guy, the flag guy raises his flag, and then the horse guy sees it, runs and stops the Misa from taking place till they can clarify. So Amar Rav Huna says, Pshitali, it's Pasha to me. Echad Evan Shniskalba, Echad Eid Shnitlaba, Echad Saif Shaharat Narakba, these four things: the stone that the person gets skila with, the wood, the tree, the beam that he gets hung at. After that, we're going to talk about it later in the Masechta. But after a person gets killed by Bezdin, his body gets hung for the rest of the day.
Any
misa. So his body gets hung for the rest of the day. So everyone should see that you're not supposed to do averis till the night, right? And then by the sword that he's killed with, or the sudr, the kerchief that he gets strangled with for chenef. Kulan mishal tzibur. They all come from the tzibur funds, public funds. Why? My timer. It's pashut cruel. You don't tell a guy go pay for your own execution.
He
right?
money anyway.
What?
He's not taking his money upstairs anyway.
Yeah, I understand, but it's Yershim, right? Rav Huna asked the Shaila. This was Pashat Rav Huna. Rav Huna asked the Shaila. Sudr shemanifim by v'sutr sharatzim amidan mishal mihu. The sudr that you use the flag and that horse and the guy riding it that go to stop it. Who does that from? Does he have to pay for it since it's for his own hatzala? Since Bezdin is mechuyev shaftei v'etzilu ha'eda, they have a chiyuv to do whatever possible to be matzal the guy. Maybe they have to pay for it. That's one question. The Su, additionally, Hadam Rav Chi Bar Hashem Rav Chizda. Rav Chi Bar Hashem said, name Rav Chizda, Hayotzili Harag Mashkan Oisei Kurt Shalavayna B'Koshal Yain. Somebody goes out to get killed. You give him a karet of levina. A karet is like
frankincense.
Levina is frankincense, but karet is like a bead. Grain. Okay, it's basically like a set.
Help you with this?
No. Okay, so the koshel yain in a cup of water. Because shal yain in a goblet of wine, okay. Kedusha to tarif daite. It acts as an anesthetic, and shenemar like the pasuk says, tenu shecher la'aved v'yain l'mar nefesh. You should give shecher's beer to somebody who's lost, and wine to somebody who has a bitter nefesh, a bitter soul. And this person certainly is getting taken out to get killed. He's going to have a bitter soul. V'tanya, we learned in the Brisa, nashim yikar shabi Yerushalayim, the precious women of Yerushalayim, they would donate a maviasais and they would bring that wine and that frankincense for the people. Now his shaila was, Rav Huna's shaila was, that's all Rav Chi Bar Ashi said in name of Rav Chizda.
That's where it came from, it wasn't public funds.
Rav Huna, let's say the ladies didn't give if they didn't, Mishal Mi. Who does that come from? On that the Gemara says, Havadi Mistavra Mishal Tzibur. That makes sense to say that comes from the Tzibur, keeping the Ksiv Tenu Midatu. It says Lashon Rabin. Give wine to Maray Nefesh.
Who pays Bezdin?
Who pays Bezdin? Probably the Munim in the city have to. You have the Shiva Tuva year. You have a what do you call it? A structure. There's a structure. There's a bureaucracy. There has to be a way to do it. I looked up frankincense, and I found an article in Ivrit in Arat Sheva from some time back.
Online?
Yeah, that says that there's some Israeli professor who, it sounds like maybe based on this Gemara, did research to find that there is taka some sort of like anesthetic properties to frankincense.
Kabbanis frankincense. No?
Yeah, it's one of the Levina is part of the Keteris. But you see from here that it has some sort of, you put some of it into wine, it has some sort of...
You buy it now?
Huh?
You buy it here?
You can buy it, I believe. I don't think you can buy it over here. It grows like in the Mediterranean and the East, I forgot where, but it's not around here, I don't think. Okay. Rav Achbar asked the Shaila from Rav Sheshes. Amar Echad min Talmidim yesh l'lamed al b'schos nishtakef mahu. Let's say one of the Talmidim said he's sitting over there in front of Bezdin. Right, you had the 3 rows of Talmidim in front of the Bezdin, and he says he's a clap on the beam and says, Rabbi say I have a schus for the guy. Nishtakef, he loses his voice, he becomes mute. Right, his vocal cord snapped. can't talk. What happens? Ma, what's the halacha?
You have to hear it, you mean?
Huh?
You have to
He
hear
doesn't have anything to say. He can't say anymore. He can't talk.
So you could,
He like blew with his hands to say that it's like hot air. It's nothing. There's nothing you can't do anything over here. If you're gonna, because he said nishtatik. If you're telling me a case of nishtatik, that should be a reason for schus.
Someone give me your voice.
You're chayshish that maybe he has a reason that he didn't say. He could have said, but he didn't say. Well, if you're chayshish on that, maybe there's some guy 3 zip codes over who has a reason to pot to the guy.
so the fact that he got mute means
So he didn't say anything. He didn't say anything. Just like, a chayshish that a guy down the block or out of the country or on the other side of the hemisphere is going to have a reason. In fact, the Gemara, it's not the same. Hasam like Kamar, Hacha Kamar. We don't know that there's a guy 3 zip codes away who says a taina. If he said a taina, we'd have to handle with it. Over here, this guy started off by saying, Rabbi I have a limit chus, and then he couldn't say.
you can't talk.
Well, you just can't talk anymore. So, what's the halacha? Tashma, I'll bring you a raya. Rabbi Yisrael said, if one of the Talmidim was Mizaki, he said a reason to pat the guy, but he said the reason. He said this pater because X, Y, and Z, right? And then he died.
So therefore what?
So now do we still count him as a vote? You look at it as if he's alive, and he's standing in his place.
We said last time that if he said Zakai, we said he's guilty. He died. We don't count it, right? Maybe he would have found a.
Yeah, but if he says Zakai, Rabbi Chanin holds that you stay with that. But Zika in loy Zika loy, the Gemara's Vadayik, only if he was Zika, only if he said the reason why he's pater. But if he didn't say the reason, he didn't explain his scenario, then you don't have a raya. You don't say that the vote stands as pater because he has to say his reason. Just like this Talmud over here also, who didn't say the reason, it won't count. Mar says loy. The Bach sticks in another word loy. Loy, no. Zika pshitali. Rabbi Yisrael Chanina is saying that this case where he said the reason, it's pashut that it counts. Amar, when we just said I have something, but he didn't say the reason why, that could still be a shayla. Rabbi Yisrael Chanina is not necessarily coming lafuke from that case of Amar, and therefore the Gemara says we don't have a pshita, so we don't have an answer to this shayla. If some Talmud says I have a reason and then suddenly gets struck mute, we don't know what the halacha should be. Okay, then the Mishnah continued. Afilu hu chulu. It says that if someone has a schus, you bring the guy back, and the Mishnah said, even if he himself has a schus, you also bring him back. And the Mishnah said, even 4 or 5 times, as long as sheish mamash b'dvar, as long as he's tining good. In fact, the Gemara, even the first or second time, he has to be tining good. Vatanya, we learned in the Brisa, the first 2 times, whether he's timing good or he's just plopping, and he says, I have a reason. They say, what's the reason? I'm not telling you I have a reason. Still take it back. Still take him back. He stopped.
And he drank wine. He must be
yeah. But why? Why do you take him back? He's not saying there's no mamish b'dvar. The Mishnah said only mamish yesh mamish b'dvar, right? Okay, I just want to let's finish the Brisa. But after the first 2 times, if he's timing good, then you take him back, and if he's not, you don't take him back. So it's a stira, it's a kasha on the Mishnah. From the second time and on, then you have to have in the Mishnah. That's when it has to be mamish b'dvarav. But if the first time,
he's trying to help himself. Right?
So Rashi says that the guy's taka scared and is all nifal, and he can't emote, he can't articulate everything that he's going on in his mind, maybe, and therefore you take it back, even if it's a mamish b'dvarav. Frak the Gemara, how do you know if he's timing good or not? Right? The guys who are taking him aren't Talmidei Chacham necessarily. These are the executioners, right? They're not necessarily Talmidei Chacham. The Eidim who are going along because they have to push him off, right? They're not Talmidei Chacham. How do you know? And the Eidim don't listen to his chus anyway. So how do you know if they're timing good? Abaye says the Masrin leZugad Rabban. You said that
he's timing good.
How do you know that the Baldin is saying a good reason?
They are. They're there.
They're there.
Not the Eidim. Not the Bezdin.
The Bezdin is not there. The Bezdin is sitting by the Bezdin still, right? So who's able to say that they're tiny and good?
That's smart.
Yeah. Where it says, Abaye says, Bezdin gives them a peer of Rabbanon to go along. If he's saying good, they take him back, and if not,
takes Uber home.
Okay, and if not, then he's going to go to get killed. Let's give it to him from the beginning. In other words, let's make it that even from the beginning you have the Talmidei Chacham there from the first time, right away when they take him, and the Talmidei Chacham will judge right away whether he's saying good or not. Right? So why do you have to say?
You may do it outside.
What?
You may do it on the way.
On the way, from the first time, give him the Talmidei Chacham, and that way, it's only if he taina is good that you have to send him back. But if he doesn't taina good, you keep on going. Right? Before we said that even if he is not taina good, you take him back the first time or two. Right? Where it says, Agav Devos Lamatzi Amar Kamaidi, like because he's scared, he can't articulate everything he has to say, and therefore we think that even the first time or two, even if he's not taina good, we still take him back because you don't judge whether he's staying good or not, you take him back.
If you don't send it with him.
Right, exactly. Sagt the Mishnah weiter. If they found the schus for him, patru, they pater him, send him home. If they didn't find the schus, Yotzili Sakal goes out to get skila. Chruz Yotzil Afanav, and they send out an announcement before him. Ish Pliny ben Pliny Yotzili Sakal, Yankel ben Beryl is going out to get skila. Asha Avra Avera Plinus, and because he did this Avera, Pliny Edav, and Beryl and Shmerel are his Edim. If anybody knows a reason why he should not go to bed, to get killed,
waiting for the guy to say something. You're trying to get him
to schus. Right. Amar Abaye says even more. But by the announcement you have to say that he's being killed for the avera that he did in this and this day, and this time, and in this place.
You were there. You can come.
Dilma Ikadiyadi. Maybe there are people who know that he really didn't do it because they can come and be Masam the Edom because they say, what do you mean? You're saying the Edom say they saw him do this avera in this place at this time.
It never happened.
The Edom either never happened or the Edom were with me at that time, not in that place. Right? So it must be that there are Edom Zayman.
Isn't it a foolproof process of betting Edom? You scared them with this, good dark room. You're going to talk about killing somebody, not talking about money.
I want to say that if I wanted to, me and the friend wanted to kill somebody, we could sit and say, we'll go through all the details, and
but they'll find you one thing that went off.
Anything that I didn't review with my friend, I would say, I don't know, I don't remember that. When I said by the Badikas, even if you don't know, it still doesn't pass the Davis. Right? So it's possible in such a case. Okay. You send out an announcement before. Gemara says, you send it out before him on that day, but not before. Rashi says not 40 days before the Misa. Now, over here, there's a
kill him right away, don't you?
What?
Kill him right away.
Kill him right away, but there's a Gemara is going to ask over here from a Brisa. There's a long piece of Gemara that was taken out by the censor.
Taken out.
And you don't have it. My son called me today to tell me I should make sure to see this Gemara. He said it's in our scroll. It doesn't say the Gemara, but it says that it was taken out. But in the Isvah it says it. So I'll read it out for you out loud. Okay. The Gemara, you're saying that you say it just that day, but not 40 days before the Misa. In other words, announced for 40 days, Yankel's going to get killed because of this and this avera that he did, and these are the Eidim, etc. Next day, Yankel's getting killed because of it, right? But Tanya, we see in a Brisa, Erev HaPesach Tal'u Yeshu HaNeitzri. An Erev Pesach, they hung Yashka. That's why they took it out, right? And there was an announcement. What?
Who hung them? Why? The Jews hung them?
The Pashtus, the Romans hung them.
Why they was blame us?
Do you need a reason to blame the Jews? Okay.
He got screwed.
Huh?
He got screwed.
Who? Yashka? Us?
Joke.
Ouch. Okay. Yes. But Chris Yaitzel in front of Arbam Yain, and the announcement went before for 40 days. They said Yeshu Anoitzu Yaitzili Sakal. Yashka is going out to get skila. Asha Kishev because he did magic. The Hissus Vadiach is Israel, and he led Klal Yisrael to Avodah Zarah. Anybody who knows the schus for him, come and say what the schus is. And didn't find the schus. And they hung him on Erev Pesach. Amar Ula says, Ula asked the kasha, V'tizbra, I'll ask you a kasha, bring me a kasha from the Brisa. The Gemara doesn't address the kasha from the Brisa yet. The kasha from the Brisa is that you see they did it for 40 days before they killed him, right? But Frakt Ula right away, I have a kasha just in the bare bones of the Brisa. I don't understand. V'tizbra, Yeshu Anoitri Bar Fuchis Chasu, do you look for schusam for Yeshu Anoitri? HaMesis Umadiachu, HaMesis, who is a Mesis. He tried to take people to Avodah Zarah. V'rachmana Amr, the Torah says, we have this a few times in the Masechta already, you don't have Rachmanas for Avodah Zarah. The whole Vitzilu Eidah doesn't apply by Mesa Mediach, doesn't apply by Avodah Zarah.
Unless Eidim Zayman.
You don't look for the Eidim Zayman. Over here, you're looking to find the schus. By someone who's Mesa Mediach, you do not look to find the schus. So how come you're announcing? Ella must be Shani Yeshu HaNeitzri the Karv L'Malchus Haba. The Yeshu HaNeitzri was different because he was Karv L'Malchus. He was close to the rulers, and it was dangerous to kill him. They had to do whatever they could to try to make it seem. Yeah. And the Gemara says, so the Gemara is saying that this is the teretz for the 40 days also. That's why they did 40 days. In other words, really you don't look for him schusim at all because he was a mesis. But they had to do it even though he was a mesis because he was Karav Lamalchas, and that's also why they did it for 40 days. Okay. Once we're talking about Yashka, the Gemara brings another Gemara. Tana Rabban learned. Chamisha Talmidim Hayula Yesha Anoitri. Yesha Anoitri had 5 Talmidim. And these are them, and these are the names. Matai, Nakai, Netzer, Ubuni, Betaida. Matai, Nakai, Netzer, Buni, and Taida. These are the names. Asyul Matai, they brought a Matai to get killed. That's being a Mesis. Amr Lahu, he told them, Matai Yaharig, your Matai should get killed? No. Haksiv, the pasuk says, Masai, like Matai, Masai Ava Ve'era Pnei Elikim. When will I come and see the face of Hashem? See a Tamachashva person. Rashi says that we're going to have a bunch of tainas like this. That Rashi says these are not good tainas, but they had to handle with them because these also were Karv L'Malchus. So there's a very delicate situation. Amrullah, they told him in Masai Haragah, Masai should get killed. Eksiv Masai Yamas V'Avad Shmai. When will he die? Masai Yamas V'Avad Shmai, and his name will get destroyed. So don't bring me a riot from a pasuk that you should get saved. Asyua the Nakai, they brought the second Talmud Nakai. Amr Lahu Nakai Yarek, Nakai should get killed. Aksiv V'Naki V'Tzadik Al Tarek. You should not kill somebody who's clean. Naki V'Tzadik, don't kill. Amrullah, they told him in Nakai Yarek, Nakai should get killed. The pasuk says. But mistarim yaharag naki, in the hidden places, naki means a clean person, but we're we're doing a pano for nakai should get killed. Asyul the Netzer, the word Netzer. Amalu, he told them Netzer yaharag, should Netzer get killed? Aksiv, the pasuk says in Yeshaya, the Netzer mishrash of Yifra, and a Netzer will be fruitful, will grow, will sprout from its roots. Right? Amrullah in Netzer should get killed. Except a different pasuk in Yeshaya, V'ata shtachta mi kivracha ki Netzer nisav, and you were thrown out of your kever like a disgusting Netzer. Asyul Buni, the Brabuni, Amrulu Buni, Yaharag Shabuni get killed. Except the pasuk says Bini, like Buni, Bini B'chari Yisrael. My Hashem says my B'char is Klal Yisrael. Amrullah in Buni Yaharag Buni should get killed. Except Hine Nech Yaharag Espincha B'charecha. Hashem says to Parai, then I'm going to kill your son, your B'char. Asyul Taida, they brought Taida was the 5th Talmud. Amrulu Taida Yaharag, you should kill Taida. Except it says in the pasuk Mizmar LaTaida. Amrullah, they told him in Taidi Yaharag, you should get killed. Except Zevech Taidi Yichabdani, someone who shechts, and the pasuk is talking about someone who shechts a carbon Taida is being mechabed meat. But they're dashing Zevech Taida, Shech Taida, kill Taida.
This is a summary saying what?
All these things are saying that this was a back and forth that the Talmidim of Yashka decided to try to save themselves, and the Rabbanan weren't having it. Amr B'Shub and Levi. Now we go on to next Gemara. So otherwise, if you don't have this girsa, this 4 words over here don't make any sense, right? I don't know how the ArtScroll says it, but you need this for context. Okay, I'm Rabbi Shimon Levi. Rabbi Shimon Levi says. So now, and this also, if you don't have this Gemara, the next Rabbi Shimon Levi doesn't make any sense.
What's Chesronis Hashas?
Chesronis Hashas is a sefer. It's from the same place.
It says it.
Yeah. So for Chesronis Hashas is a sefer. I have a copy at home that it lists all the places that the censors took stuff out of the Gemara. But in the Oizel Hadar Gemara, they put it all in on the side, so you don't need a second extra sefer. But also, if you didn't have this, you wouldn't understand Rabbi Shimon Levi. Rabbi Shimon Levi is about to talk about the pasuk, right? What's the shaykhis to that? The only shaykhis is because this Gemara that Toida wanted to save himself by saying Mizrah Toida, and they said back to him, but once he's talking about Rabbi Shimon Levi is going to say a verse about that pasuk. I'm Rabbi Shimon Levi. Rabbi Shimon Levi says, from Lashon, it's a punning on the word Toida. Someone who shechts his Yetzirah and says Vida, in other words, someone who doesn't have Eira, but then he does Tshuva.
Vida is Tshuva?
Yeah.
Hashem, not public.
Yeah. The Torah considers it as if you're Mechabet Hashem in two worlds, this world and the next world. The pasuk says, Zeveach Toida, Zeveach is someone who shechts his Yetzirah, and Toida, and he's misvada about it, Yichabdanani, we're darshaning the extra.
He does it again.
Not even if it does it again. You shouldn't do
it. You don't have error, right? The next day, again, nothing the same thing, right?
We're not talking about doing it again. We're saying someone who doesn't have error and does tshuva, right? Then he's
up there.
Right. You could say that maybe it means he doesn't do it again because it's very funny lashon. Zaveachas Yitzray is he shechts his Yitzray. Rashi says v'harga, he kills the Yitzhahara. In the Tanya, it talks about the concept of the two dargos of tzaddikim. A tzaddik that was kaifa the Yitzhahara. That means he rules over the Yitzhahara, but he still has the Yitzhahara. But he's in charge. And then there's a tzaddik who's even more than that, the higher level. He kills the Yitzhahara completely. So maybe this is what the pasuk is talking about. Somebody kills his Yitzhahara. Rabbi Shimon Levi, and Rabbi Shimon Levi said, another member from Rabbi Shimon Levi. At the time that Beis Mikdash was around, other makrabayla, schar biyadi. Someone who brings a carbonayla, he gets schar for carbonayla. Mincha, schar mincha biyadi. Brings a carbon mincha, gets schar mincha. Avamisha daite shvala, somebody who is his soul is low. In other words, he humbles himself in front of the Rabban Shalom. Malal v'kasav kilu hikr kol kavanas kulan. The Torah considers it as if he brought all the kavanas, an ayla, mincha, chatas, ashim, you name it. Shenamar, like the pasuk says, zivcha lekim. The karbanis of Hashem, karbanis Hashem Rabim, is ruach neshbara, is a broken heart, a broken spirit. Not only that, el she'ein tefillas in a mesas. When he davens, Hashem is not going to turn away his tefillah. Shenamar, like the end of the pasuk says, leiv nishbar v'nitke, a heart that's broken and downtrodden, and lekim leisivza, Hashem does not spurn. Hashem does not turn away.
You said despise. Despise is a heavy word.
Okay, I said spurn. Turn away. Okay. Masnisen, we learned in the Mishnah. If when the person was about 10 amas away from the base of skila, in other words, the shluchei bezdin were almost there by the 20 or so feet away from the base of skila. They tell him to say vidoy because the derech of all people who get killed is to say vidoy. In other words, they want to convince him to say vidoy. He doesn't want to say vidoy. They're trying to convince him. Someone who says vidoy is chiluk l'amaba.
Is this kapara death if he killed somebody?
He has to say vidoy. Yeah. We find. But Achan was the person who stole from the Cherem in the times of Yeshua, and they went by Yericho. They were supposed to destroy all the things, and he took for himself. So and he got killed. Shamarle Yeshua told him, "Beni, my son, Simna kavod Hashem l'kei Yisrael v'tein lei toida. Give kavod to Hashem, the God of Klal Yisrael, and be misvada." Hayana chnes Yeshua, and Yachan responded to Yeshua. He said, Amna, it's true. Anechi chatasi, I sinned, and this is what I did. And how do you know that it's kapara? His vidu wasn't kapara for him. Shneimah the pasuk says, "V'yemer Yeshua," and Yeshua said, "Ma achartanu you how did you do bad to us? You did bad to us with your avera. Yacharcha Hashem b'yem hazeh. Hashem should make bad for you on this day." And we darshan b'yem hazeh atachar. On this day you were getting but v'yat achar el maba you're going to be okay because you did viday. Now that's what they tell the guy. If he doesn't know how to say viday, they say to him, they help him. Amar, you should say to him, "Misasi kapara al kol say, let my misa, my death be a kapara on all my affairs." Rabbi Yehuda says, if he knows that he's actually getting killed for nothing, he knows he didn't do it, right? He says, let my misa be a kapara on all my affairs, except for this one, because this one I didn't do.
He's being truthful.
So Amrullah, they told him, Rabbi Yehuda, if you say this, everyone's going to say this. If you teach them to say that, everyone's going to say it, and then they're going to be saying the people will say, "Oh, these Eidim are false Eidim, the Diyanim are false Dayanim, the whole system is a fraud, right? It's a cesspool, right? You gotta,
it's a swamp.
It's a swamp, right? So that's why you do not say this thing. No. When it says the word na, a na elashma kasha. This is a cloud the Gemara says many times all over. That when it says na, it means it's a lashon bakasha. It's a lashon of request. Even though the literal translation of na, you look in Targum, generally speaking, is no, not please. Generally, it's now if you look in Targum. But we still say that na is a lashon bakasha. Yeah, right. Bishash Amrak, and what are we darshaning? The pasuk says by Yeshua that Yeshua said al Achan, Vayemer Yeshua al Achan, B'ni, my son, sim na kavod LaHashem Elokei Yisrael. This is the pasuk that the Mishnah quoted. Put na, please put kavod Hashem Elokei Yisrael. The Gemara is going to explain why it says that. Bishash Amrak Hachbarach Yeshua Chati Yisrael. When Hashem said to Yeshua, Chai Yisrael did navera, Amal Fanav. Yeshua said, Rebbeinu Shalom, mi chata. He said, who did navera? Yeshua wanted to take care of it. Amalei Hashem said to Yeshua, Am I saying lashon hara for you? Am I what do you call it? A tattletale, right? Hashem says I'm not a tattletale. I'm saying lashon hara. Apel garolas, make garolas. Halach people garolas. Yeshua made a girl in all the people. The nafal girl alach, and the girl came to Achan. Amalai. So Achan said, Yeshua. Achan said to Yeshua, Begirl, you're coming to convict me over here based on a girl? You and Elazar Kayan are two Gdei Yadar. If I make a girl of just for the two of you, it's going to fall on one of you.
50% chance.
Yeah, so Mehech takes that the girl counts. Right?
So close.
That's because it's so close. The girl has to fall on somebody, right? So it fell on me. But if I make a girl and it's just you two, it's going to fall on one of you. So therefore, why are you using the fact that it came to me as a raya? Yeah, you know, if I do a girl between you and Elazar, you look at the Ayadar, and still it's going to fall on one of you, and neither of you did it, right? So Yeshua said, and this is what the na is, please, I'll tell you lazal gorelas. Don't make lashon hara on the gorelas. Why? Shasida Eretz Yisrael should schalak the girl, because Eretz Yisrael is going to end up being divided by a girl. Shneimah, like the pasuk says, ach begirl yachalakas aretz. With a girl, you should split the land. Okay, that's what the Ein Lashon Hashim Kasha. Tein Taida, he said, Bimisvada. Amar Ravina said, Shchudi Shachte B'mili. Yeshua bribed him with words. In other words, he fooled him. He said, Klum Nevakshon Chelaida, we only need you to admit it. Tein Lai Taida V'yipater.
When afterwards?
Bimisvada, and you'll be pater. In other words, Yeshua didn't tell him he's going to get killed for this. But Yeshua needed him to be, I didn't get a chance to look in the Mefarshim on this and see how could Yeshua have said this. I didn't get a chance. I'm sure they talk about it. Miyad v'yan Achan is Yeshua. Right away, Achan answered Yeshua. V'yamr, and he said, Amna, it's true. Anochi chatasi l'Hashem l'kei Yisrael. I sinned to Hashem. V'chazais asisi. And this is what I did. Amr Ravasi, Amr Chanina. Ravasi said in the name of Chanina, this is the fact that he said this lashon. We'll explain in a second. V'lamid shemal Achan b'shal shlosh haramim. Achan was mile in 3 Charamim, Shnayim b'mei Moshe v'echad b'mei Yeshua. 2 in the days of Moshe, 1 in the days of Yeshua. Shnemar, like it says, Chatasi, I did the Avera, and then it says again, Chazais v'chazais asisi, like this and like this I did. That's 3 times. Excuse me. Rabbi Yochanan Shema bless Reb Shimon, Chamisha. Rabbi Yochanan says in the name of Reb Shimon, it was 5 times he was mile. Arba b'mei Moshe, 4 in the days of Moshe, v'echad b'mei Yeshua, and 1 in the days of Yeshua. Shnemar, like it says, Anoichi I Chatasi I sinned, v'chazais, and like this and like this, asisi I did. And the Rebbeinu Chanan counts all 5. He says it was Cherem of Midyan, Cherem of Knani Melech Harad, Cherem of Sichain, Cherem of Oig, and those 4 in the days of Moshe, and then Yerichai in the days of Yeshua. How come Achan wasn't punished, or Klal Yisrael wasn't punished on Achan's Avera until now? Right? If he did the Averas already in the days of Moshe, Klal Yisrael should have got punished already. Rabbi Yochanan, Mishim Rabbi Elazar, Rabbi Shimon, Rabbi Yochanan said names of Rabbi Shimon, V'shelei Anash al Nestaros, such Ami Yisrael, the Yarden. Klal Yisrael didn't get Nenash on Nestaros until they went over the Yarden. We have a pasuk. Hanistaros, you know the pasuk, right? The pasuk says, "Hanistaros Hashem Elokeinu." The hidden things are to Hashem, but Niglois and the revealed Averos, Lanu Vanenu Ad Olam, are to us and our children and forever.
What does that mean?
What does that mean? Getanoi, like Machlekes Tanam. It talks about what this means. Hanistaros Hashem Elokeinu and Niglois Lanu Vanenu Ad Olam. It says the hidden things are to Hashem, and the niglos are to us and our children forever. Lama nakud alanu v'neinu val ayin shebe'ad. If you look in the Torah, there's Nikudis. I don't know how it brings in yours, but inside of my Gemara it brings it down. By Vaniglois it says Lanu V'neinu Ad. There's a dot in each letter of Lanu V'neinu and the ayin of Ad. Right?
The Torah is like that also?
The Torah is like that also, yeah. So you try to get this aliyah next time around. Okay?
Where is this?
It is in Hazinu, I think, no? I think it's Hazinu. Lama nakud alanu v'neinu v'alayin shava'ad Malamid the Chisha shalai ana shal nastara such Avri Yisrael Yarden. That Hashem didn't be ma'anish, didn't punish Klal Yisrael for the hidden averas until they went over the Yarden. Rabbi Yehuda, this Rabbi Yehuda says. There's more on this, but I just want to finish the paragraph. Hashem, tomorrow we'll come back and explain a little more. Otherwise, not going to have time. Rabbi Nechemia said to Rabbi Yehuda, "V'chi ana shal nastaras la'olam." Did Hashem say that He's going to punish for the Nestaros forever? It says that Rashi is going to explain how the drasha works over here. Just like Nechemia holds, just like Hashem didn't do an einish on the Nestaros, so too Hashem didn't do einshin on the averos that were revealed, that were known until Klal Yisrael went through the Yarden. Without going through the drashas, what Nechemia is saying is that if somebody did an Aveira and it was Galui, it was revealed, people knew about it, Hashem didn't punish the people until they went over the Yarden. Correct what Gemara's question was, so why was Achan, Rabbi Nechemia holds that the Nestaros you would not get punished on, even after they went through the Yarden. Why was Achan punished? Where it says of his wife and his kids knew about it. I was very much not explained what's going on over here. But let me just explain one thing before we start Baruch. And that is that the shaila between Rabbi Yehuda and Nechemia is whether the halacha of arvas, I'm responsible for the averis of my fellow Jew. When does that apply? When the stars by Niglos, before they went to Eretz Yisrael, or after they went to Eretz Yisrael? That's what the Machlekes says, and it's probably in how you darshan this pasuk.